Hi everyone, and welcome to Food Forest Edible Canopies for Beginners. I'm Sandra, and today I want to talk to you about mangoes. I have several mangoes in the yard. They're just beginners. I have one that's relatively bigger than the rest, but I started recently wanting a lot of mangoes, so I have 6 total, and I'm going to show you and kind of tell you the pros and cons of the tree and some benefits that you'll just love about the mango tree. Okay, so I wanted you guys to see the yard and just see the different mango trees that I've planted. I have 6 total, as I mentioned. I have 1 Carrie, 1 orange sherbet. This is the orange sherbet. I have 2 Manillas and 2 Glens, and they love the sunny 6 to 8 hours of sunlight a day for optimal growth and fruit production. These particular mango trees are in well-drained soil, sandy, lofty soils. That's what they like, and they do not like to have water pulled around the roots, and I will show you why later in this video and what happened to one of my trees. These particular trees that I have are 1 to 3 years old. I water them deeply once or twice a week. July and August, I may water them more often. It just depends on how dry we are and how much rain we get. So I keep an eye on the soil because I don't want them to dry out, but I also do not want to over water them. If I had a mature mango tree, then I would water every 10 to 15 days. Again, you want to reduce the watering in the winter to prevent root rot. You can see here I have mulch surrounding these trees. The mulch helps with reducing the weeds, keeping the grass out, helps with soil temperature, and it helps with retaining moisture. I don't start the mulch right next to the trunk. I keep it 6 inches away from the trunk. When I fertilize these young trees, I fertilize in the spring, the summer, and the fall. I use a fertilizer that's a balance between a 10-10-10 or a 20-20-20. And what that stands for, if you're not familiar, is the first number is for nitrogen, and nitrogen helps with growth of your tree or your plant. The second number is phosphorus. It helps with the root development and blooms of your tree or your plant. And then the third number is potassium, and it helps with overall strength. I also like to add micronutrients such as magnesium, iron, and zinc. Zinc is very helpful. Iron helps with the greening of your leaves. And then the pH of these particular trees, you want the soil pH to be 6 to 7.5. And you can buy a tool that actually will measure the acid level of your soil. As far as organic fertilizer, you can certainly do that. I have chickens, so I love to let the manure sit from 1 week to 2 weeks, and then I'll grab a shovel and I'll spread it around the trunk of the trees. And again, I keep it 6 inches away from the trunk just so that I can keep an eye on how much water these trees are getting. And when you have young trees like this, it's super important that you prune them correctly. You want to encourage a strong, open structure. You want to remove any dead or weak branches or any branches that are crossing over. And you want to promote a spreading canopy with a central trunk and a large outward reaching branches. Once the trees are mature and after they fruit, you still want to keep a regular pruning of your trees because, again, you want to maintain airflow and sunlight penetration, which will improve on the fruit quality of your trees. These particular trees could have problems with aphids, mealybugs, fruit flies, and potentially powdery mildew. So you want to keep an eye on these trees. You want to inspect your leaves. I walk the yard on a regular basis to make sure that I don't have any of these problems. And one of the things I avoid with these trees especially is I do not do any overhead watering. I water again at the root area and at the trunk area. I don't want to water the leaves. I don't want to do any overhead watering. Now, Once you start seeing some flowers on these trees, then you know that you're going to get some fruit. Now, I have a separate video on pollinators. If you don't have pollinators in your yard, you're not going to see a lot of flowers on your trees or your plants. Every yard needs some pollinators, so make sure you take a moment to look at my pollinator video. I have some good tips on how to get pollinators in your yard. Now, once you have the flowers, your fruit can develop anywhere from 3 to 6 months after the fruit develops. And you want to keep an eye on the flowers. If you have too many flowers on one branch, you may need to thin out the flowers so that you don't get too many fruits on one branch if the branches aren't strong enough. Now, you can tell once you start getting some fruit, once they start producing the fruit, you can tell that they're ready to harvest and you're ready to pick the fruit when the fruit turns from green to either a yellow, an orange, or a red, and it depends on what type of variety of mango you got will determine when it's actually ripe and the color is ripe. But you can also tell when they're soft, right? When your fruit's soft. Now I'm going to show you the tree that got soaked in water. So this is one of my manillas, and I'm very sad. We got a lot of rain, as everyone knows, for a couple weeks, and this tree sat in water for just 2 weeks. It lost every single leaf it had on it. It was so healthy, so beautiful, like the other ones I showed you, but literally within a 2-week period, I lost all of the leaves. Relocated it to a pot, and now I'm hoping that it'll come back to life. It looked just like this one. Now this one I'm fertilizing, and I'm showing you how I fertilize. I'm just taking the scoop that's in here and I'm sprinkling the fertilizer all around the soil, and I'm keeping it at least 10 inches from the trunk of this tree. I'm spreading it around, and then I'm going to water it in really, really well because you want it to saturate into the soil, which will saturate down into your roots, and that's what you want, the roots to get the fertilizer. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the open structure, take a screenshot of it so you have it for your record on how you want your mango trees to be pruned as they grow. So I hope that you like this video. Please like and subscribe if you did, because I'll be posting videos on a weekly basis. Thank you and have a wonderful day.